BoxingVoice.com live here with Tony Davis, strength and conditioning coach of Danny Garcia. Coming up into a big fight with Lamont Peterson and Danny Garcia, but this fight is probably most important for you. Being a strength and conditioning coach, and so much has been talked about of the weight and having to get him at a targeted weight, not something that people are used to where it's 140, 147, but an exact weight of 143. How difficult is that for you to get him into shape for this?
It's not difficult at all. You know, with Danny, there's a lot of discipline, a lot of dedication to what he does. I just have to make sure that as a conditioning coach, we don't put too much muscle weight on him, so when it's time to drop weight, he has the right balance of fat, water to lose, as opposed to muscle weight.
Now, can you just take us through a day in training, or what exactly is it that you particularly do? Like, we just heard Gary Russell come out and say that he hired a strength and conditioning coach for his fight with Lomachenko, but he had him in a sauna for 3 days before the fight, and that's why he didn't have any power, and that's why he lost the fight. So how do Danny Garcia fans, which are some hardcore fans, know that you're doing what you're properly supposed to be doing, or that you're on the level of, let's say, an Ariza, who has a lot more popularity, so not necessarily positive, but a lot more popularity as a strength and conditioning coach?
Well, in our case, you know, time is everything. You know, we've been together for quite a while. I'm really in tune with Danny's body, Danny's conditioning. I know where to push him, where not to push him, how to just get him in that right area. But as far as the conditioning standpoint and the overall camp, we have phases that we go through. We go through a core phase, a building phase, a shaping, sculpting phase, and a reconditioning phase, allowing the body to come back together. And of course, rest is important. So that's why we don't ever run into that problem where weight becomes an issue, because we're maintaining and monitoring that throughout the entire camp.
Now, are you full-time with him, that you're here 365, or you're only here when he signs a fight?
Oh, we're here all the time, you know, unless we have something that's going on outside, you know, in our regular lives or something like that. But no, camp is life. You know, this is it. We're like a close-knit family.
No, but I mean, if he doesn't have a fight signed, you're still working with him, or are you brought in when the fight is signed?
I'm here all the time, and if he's working out and he wants to do something, then we're going to do it. But again, rest and recovery is important. So, you know, typically we're fighting every 3-4 months. So that's really not a lot of downtime to be had anyway. But when we're not fighting, he's resting. And that's as important as working out and building up.
Now, that's what I was going to say. I don't know about typically being 3-4 months, but this year's definitely should be 4 fights a year. According to the new Heyman boxing schedule, these guys are going to be fighting 4 times a year. Does that make your job a little harder or easier, because now his body's constantly acting? It's easier to maintain a weight?
Actually, the exception was last year. But if you look back before that, the year before and the year before that, typically it's been 3-4 months on, and we've been working out, and that makes it a whole lot easier. Because the muscle has memory, body has memory. If you can stay in a targeted range, when it's time to get back into the camp, back into the ring, it's just that much easier just to turn the switch back on and pick up from where you left off.
Now, how much of physical training and what you do with Danny was a result of the knockout with Salka, or was it the opponent?
Oh, it's a lot to do with training and conditioning. Now, I always say Danny is 80% nature, 20% push, meaning that he has a lot of innate natural power that comes along with him. I tweak those areas that he utilizes in the ring, and I'll help him use it better when he gets out there. Not only do I want him to be powerful and strong, but I want him to last long too. It's no good if you can, you know, have the most devastating punch, but in the 4th round, you done shot your load. That's not.
Give us a quick tip for some explosiveness, something you might do with a fighter. Doesn't have to be Danny, if he wants to build on his already great power.
Focus on your core. That's the quick tip. A lot of people make the mistake thinking the core is just here, but the core is everything from here to here, front and back. Work in that area, everything else will fall in place.